Hello, hello! We have some sushi here, and I want to share a little bit about sauces, how to make delicious raw vegan sauces. That's what we're going to chat about today. You have the ability to share in the chat any questions that you might have. It's kind of like a Q&A style. I'm going to be eating some of the sushi. I'll show it as well. We made this today in our community. So we have an online community. It's $47 a month, and every month we do raw food classes in there. And today we did the inside out nori rolls. That class will be up as a replay in the community separately from the bundle, but the bundle is going on right now. If you want to get my brand new raw vegan sushi ebook, it's part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. This bundle only happens once a year, and every single year it's brand new. Nothing in this bundle has ever been released before, so it's all brand new content, no duplicates. It's an amazing collection. So if you're looking for some more raw vegan content, if you want to get the new sushi ebook, if you want to get Nate's new cracker ebook, the Make It Raw 4 that I wrote with Chef AJ, that's in there as well. There's so much fun stuff in there. And yes, the sushi, I just wanted to show. Here we go. Look at this beautiful plate of sushi that we made today in class. These are the inside out rolls. I showed how we roll them. And if you do get the bundle, inside the sushi ebook, there is a 49-minute video that shows you how to do this. It shows you how to make the inside out sushi rice and how to roll it, how to do the wet chopping, how to put the avocado on the top, and all of that fun stuff. So you do get that video in the sushi ebook as well when you buy the bundle, but check it out. Look at that beautiful sushi. Watermelon Lime says, eating more of the banana carob freezer fudge. Yes, that recipe is in Make It Raw Volume 4. That's Chef AJ's recipe. I'm glad you really enjoy it. Check out that. This is Nate's plate of sushi. He's going live actually with Mira right now, so he's gonna eat that after he's done. Yeah, Noi says, awesome class. Noi is in the community as well. She attended that class, and yeah, it was a fun one. It was definitely fun. Look at all these beautiful sushi. Woo, I love it, I love it. So delicious. So I wanted to chat about sauces, how to make delicious raw sauces. And this could be dips, it can be dressings, it can be other sauces, but I wanted to talk about the 5 components that go into a really good sauce so you can make your own creations. If you follow these 5 kind of, I wouldn't say steps, but these 5 tastes that you want to get in your sauce, you can make a really full-bodied, full-volume flavored sauce that doesn't really taste like it's missing something. Like, I've made a lot of sauces in the past, and sometimes I'll taste it and I'll be like, it's kind of missing something. It's always missing something. Until you follow the 5 tastes that go in, then you can have a more full-bodied sauce. So to start, because we follow a low-fat raw vegan diet, we like to start with fruit. So you're gonna wanna start with the first taste, which is sweet. We need a sweet. And I know some people have said, I don't want sweet in my dressing, but if you look at any really good, full flavored, savory dish or savory sauce, there's always a little bit of sweet in there. It balances out the other tastes, like bitter and sour and all those other things we're gonna talk about, but we do need a little bit of sweet, and sometimes a lot of sweet, depending on the dressing, but fruit is going to be the base of the dressing, and we usually use dates as a base, so we'll put dates in our dressing first. You could also use dried apricots, dried figs, you could use soaked dried mango, dried sun-dried tomato. That's a little sweet as well. I would combine that with dates though to give it that sweetness, but you want to start with a good base, and sweet is the base that you want to start with. If you're making a creamy dressing, even if you're just doing like cashew cream or what have you, most of them do need a little sweet as well, unless you're doing something like a cashew cream cheese, for example, or cashew based dressings. Usually I will add a date to a cashew-based dressing like a ranch or something just to give it that little extra sweet edge. It sometimes balances out and it ends up being perfect if you add just a little bit of sweet in there. So we usually start with 5 dates. It's roughly around 125 grams worth of dates or apricots or some kind of thing. And I like to soak it as well if you want to soak the dates if they're harder, especially figs or apricots. Those tend to need to be soaked a little bit beforehand so they're nice and soft and the blender blends better. So you start with the sweet. That's the first one. Start with your sweet base. Dates, apricot, figs, fruit. You could use mango as well, like fresh mango works. You could use apple if you wanted to make like an apple chaat, which we are going to be doing. I believe tomorrow we're doing food demo for apple chaat salad, which the recipe is in Make It Raw Volume 4, which you can get by buying the bundle, link in my bio or in the description box below. So we're doing that on Sunday, I believe. But yeah, you can use apple as the base, mango. You can use fruit as the base. You don't have to use dry fruit or the dates or what have you, but we need a sweet. Then you need a sour. So the sour usually is lemon or lime juice and or apple cider vinegar. These lend that tangy vinaigrette style thing that we really like in a good dip or sauce. And you don't want to overdo it because it can be a little bit too vinegary, but it depends on your tastes. If you really like that sourness, you can use both. A little lemon juice with some apple cider vinegar is a really nice combination. If you don't want to use apple cider vinegar, you can do straight citrus. You can use grapefruit is another good one. If you are doing the Japanese style, yuzu is another citrus. It's harder to get, but you can get the raw yuzu essence from Goldmine Naturals. It's raw and it's like an essence from the rind. And yes, watermelon lime makes a really great suggestion here. Tamarind, I was actually going to mention amchur, which is mango powder, but tamarind is a really great one to add for that zing. Or you could use amchur, AMCHUR. It's a powder, it's mango powder, and it has that sour zinginess to it. So yes, you can use tamarind or that for the sour aspect. So you got sweet, you got your sour. Then you want to go with your aromatic, and your aromatic is going to be all of those more aromatic kind of things like garlic, onion, ginger. What else could you add into there? That could be your herbs as well. So like bitter, we're looking for bitter, we're looking for a little umami in there. So garlic and onions are going to be your go-tos. Barberries, yes, for the sour, you could totally do that. You could use cranberry as well. So those are kind of sour. Berries can kind of float between the two, sweet and sour. So you could kind of use raspberries as a base. You might not need to use any apple cider vinegar. You could add a little lemon juice to that if you wanted to, but they are kind of sour on their own. But for the aromatic, that's the third one. That would be like your garlic. So throw 2 cloves of garlic in there, some onion powder, get those aromatics in there, and your dried herbs. If you're gonna do dill or like cilantro, any of the fresh herbs can count in there as well because they're on the bitter side. So aromatic is kind of bitter-ish, bold flavors. And then you've got your salty and spicy. So this is where you could add your miso paste or your coconut aminos. You could just add celery if you wanted like a whole food organic way to get some sodium in there. Celery works really well. Add like 2 sticks of celery to your dressing. It also adds hydration to it. So that can help use less water when you're blending. So you could do that. But then there's also the spices. So it's salty and spice. So you want to add like chili peppers or any of the spices you want to do. Some curry powder. It depends on the vibe that you're looking for. So you could do something like mango as your sweet. You could do apple cider vinegar as your sour. You could do garlic and onion and whatever else you want as your aromatic. You could do miso paste and curry powder for that. And then finally, the last one, you don't always have to have the last one, but the last one kind of rounds it out, is the fats. So adding a little bit of fats can round out the dressing. Again, you don't have to use them, but it does add a little bit to it. So add some chia seeds for omega-3. That doesn't really make it as creamy. It makes it more bulky. It's more fiber as well, your omega-3s. But you could add like 2 tablespoons of any nut or seed is just enough. You don't need to add more than that. So if you wanted to add some sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds or even cashews, if you want to get it creamier, you can do that. Again, don't have to, but you can add that for a more well-rounded enjoyment. Tahini is another good one that you can add. And then you just add a little bit of water. Always, 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 always start slow with the water, because you don't know how it's going to blend with the fruit or other veggies that you have in there. Sometimes if you're doing something with tomatoes or the celery or bell pepper, for example, those are already pretty water rich. So sometimes you don't need to add as much water as you think. Always start slow with the water, get it to blend. And once it's blended, then you can add more water if you want a thinner dressing, or you could keep it thick if you want it to be like a dip for veggies. You can do that as well. So I wanted to share that today with you so you can make your own epic dressings, make your own combinations. Again, use a sweet, get a fruit in there, get a sour, get an aromatic, get some salty and spicy, and then if you want, add some fats. So again, you could do that curry one, which would be mango, with apple cider vinegar, garlic and onion, curry powder and miso, and you could add some sunflower seeds, or tahini would be a really great one for that one. And there you have a mango curry dressing, easy. And you can play around with different ratios with that and see what you like the best, but it's a great starting point for you to make your own dressings by yourself. If you didn't want to follow a recipe or you want to start getting creative yourself, those are some tips for you to make some awesome sauces. So that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you again for joining for the bundle. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for joining us. We love you so much. And we have our lunch here, again, that we made on class. For those who are new here, these are the nori rolls that we made in our Raw Food Romance online community today. This is the inside out rolls, and you get this the recipe for the inside out rolls. And these are actually the California rolls. It's got a coconut filling, and you can make that if you get the bundle. The California rolls recipe is in the brand new sushi ebook that just released in the bundle. Link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, but this is Nate's plate. We teach how to do this. So if you do get the bundle, download the sushi ebook right away. You have until June 30th to download all the content. So take 5 minutes and do it. Then you don't have to worry about the deadline. So please download all the content. Once you download the content, then you will have the recipe. You'll be able to make these delicious things. There's no internet. Oh, guess what? Nate can join us then.
Yes.
Oh,
so good.
We were waiting for you.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is hardcore because I want to eat them right now.
Right now. Here is your sauce.
Okay. What's up, guys?
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to share.
Yeah, hopefully you're having a great Saturday wherever you are.
And we are going to enjoy some sushi with you.
Oh my gosh.
We wish you were here so you can have some of this sushi. When you're done with that one, we can hold it up and show everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, when I'm done with this bite.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, let's see here. I love it. Yes.
You told them what we just did, how we did this?
Yes, so we did it in our community, and it's so much fun in the community. The community is absolutely
We've got a great community.
Yes.
Amazing people in there. Everybody's so helpful and friendly.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at that. Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
Look at those chopstick skills. It's so good. It's so good. And when you guys get the bundle, if you haven't got the bundle already, these recipes, 160 different recipes are in that sushi book of Lissa's, the new sushi book. And oh my gosh, they're incredible.
Yes. And the cool thing about this plate, I'm going to show you closer up. The cool thing about this plate is that all of these are the same sushi rolls.
The filling.
The filling is the same, the rice is the same. But for these ones, we put the avocado on the top. For these ones, we just laid them on their side and put some kimchi with some white sesame seeds. And then these ones have ginger and wasabi with a little bit of parsley for decoration.
It's so nice.
It's fun because you can make the same sushi, which saves time. You don't have to make like all different kinds, but you can have different toppings.
You can different toppings, decorate it differently, and then it makes it seem like a whole other kind of roll.
Totally. Watermelon Lime asks, at what point did your tolerance for garlic in sauces go up? I feel like I can always only have half to one, and that's totally fine.
Oh yeah.
I feel, it's totally gradual because garlic.
I think garlic's different.
Yeah, all garlics are different too. Some garlics are way stronger than other ones, like the purple garlic, Russian garlic. Those are a lot stronger than the music garlic, which is the one you usually get at the grocery store. Those ones I can handle a lot more than the Russian garlic. Sometimes it can be too garlicky, but
for me in the beginning, garlic was pretty intense. Having it raw, I could only have like a small clove, but then I just started to eat it more, incorporate it more into the dressings, and the tolerance did kind of go up. But of course, it's not like that's the goal. Like I need to be able to eat 6 cloves of garlic.
Yeah, and as your gut grows, because garlic has inulin in it, which feeds our microbiome, garlic is cool because it not only feeds our microbiome, but it has antibacterial properties that kill the bad ones. So it doesn't kill our good bacteria, it actually feeds our good bacteria because of the inulin. So the more you eat it, the more your bacteria grow and the more you can enjoy. So this one's got some ginger and wasabi.
Yeah, it burns your tongue too much. That's what it did for me. In the beginning, remember one time I put 2 cloves in and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot I can't even eat it. But of course, you start to grow that microbiome, start to incorporate it more. Your tolerance does kind of go up a bit more. But some people are hyper tasters, and maybe you need to use just half a clove, and that's perfect. So it really depends, and yeah, all garlic isn't created equal. There's some that are just like really spicy.
Woo, that wasabi, I love it. That was a good hit. But yeah, I like that you say that about the hyper tasters, because there are people out there, and it's a fair high percentage. Not super high, but they have extra taste buds on their tongues.
Yeah.
So they taste things a lot more than the average person does. They're called hyper tasters. They just have more taste buds. So what we might need 3 cloves of garlic for, you might only need 1. So it's totally up to you where you go with the garlic. It's not like critical that you have too much. Love the taste, but I can't put too much. Yeah, just put whatever amount you like. And that's why I always recommend when you're making a recipe, always start with half the amount of the spices, because you can always add more. It's hard to take it away. That kimchi one.
The kimchi
right?
one. I love it.
Kimchi, so we put kimchi on top of these ones.
I want kimchi on all of them.
Woo! All right, they're so good.
Oh my gosh. This one's going in for a deep dunk.
Cheers.
Oh.
The kimchi.
So good.
Now, if you guys have any questions, if you haven't gotten the bundle yet, go get the bundle. You're getting. Oh, Chris is here.
Hey, Chris!
Yeah, I know. These are so good.
Come on over, bro. I wish you lived closer, man. Or we lived closer to you. Actually, I wouldn't mind living in Sweden, really.
No, Chris, you're the beast.
Oh, you're the beast. All right.
Yeah.
Bro, you come over and get some sushi, bro.
He's gonna be gone before he gets here.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe we can make sushi for him tomorrow.
Oh, man.
We can make sushi and tostadas.
Oh, my gosh.
Even just one roll, just so we can taste it. Look at that. Beautiful.
And how long have we been married?
Oh.
This year's going to be 6 years.
6. You're right, yeah.
And do you make your own kimchi? Yeah, we've got kimchi, and the recipes are in the sushi book. So you can make your own kimchi. So
There's
delicious.
2.
2 different ones.
There's a spicy mustard kimchi and a regular kind of more mild Napa cabbage kimchi. But there's 2 kimchi recipes in the sushi ebook, so you can make your own and put it on top of your sushi and your salads.
Watermelon Live says, move to Germany.
Germany!
So, do you speak fluent German? mean, I would imagine you probably do because you live in Germany, right? My friend of mine, he was learning German, and because he went to Germany quite often, and it's a it's a hard language to learn.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna drink the sauce.
I know, right? The sauce is good too.
So dang delicious.
The Puerto Rican vegan says, I was trying to make it to Woodstock Fruit Fest with Mr. Wendy. Oh!
Yeah, that was in 2019.
2019.
Right. I know that was the
Long
last
time ago, it seems.
That was the last time we were there.
Yeah.
Now of course, you probably know they've moved locations, and part of me thinks like, oh man, because like Mike Arnstein isn't the one, put it on anymore. Kind of wondered if they should change the name, but of course they're keeping the name.
Yeah.
All right, what next?
What next? Oh, we have Watermelon Lime says she is German.
German.
So it's my mother tongue. That's super cool.
Oh, so cool.
Mary asks, what are you eating? How many sushi to get full with? So these are we each had 2 full rolls of nori, of sushi, and we're going to get full off that for sure. Sometimes we'll do 3 full rolls each, maybe 4.
I feel like 3,
yeah,
4 max,
Yeah.
but depending on what's in them. These ones, are a little bit higher fat, so they're a bit more filling.
because of all the avocado.
Yeah, because we got the avocado inside and on top, and there is coconut meat inside, and there's cheese, cashew cheese in the cauliflower rice to make it sticky, to make it the inside out roll. So it's a higher fat, so it's a bit more dense. So these 2 rolls is a comfortable feeling of full. Like I have 3 more pieces. I probably could eat another one, especially if it was like a lower fat one. But if there are lower fat ones, you could definitely eat 4.
Yeah. So we are eating, to answer Mary's question, we are eating raw vegan sushi. The rice is made with cauliflower. And the filling we have is a young coconut filling. And then we have avocado on the top. We put some cucumber, bell pepper inside as well. We got some kimchi on top. But yeah, this is basically the California roll in the sushi ebook, and the brand new sushi ebook is available right now in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. That's the only way you can get it right now. After the bundle's over, it'll go in our ebook store, but right now you got to get it in the bundle, because you're not only getting our sushi ebook, but you're also getting the brand new Make It Raw Volume 4 that I wrote with Chef AJ. You're getting Nate's brand new cracker book. You're getting stuff from Chris Kendall, Raw Chef Ian's Chinese Takeout Raw Vegan. You're getting all of that,
kinds of stuff,
valued at nearly $1,400 for $50. It's worth it to go grab the bundle. Link is in or in the description box.
There's meal plans in there. There's raw food courses. Anything raw food related is going to be. There's going to be some really good products in there. And her sushi book. I mean, you've seen some of the pictures. Most likely, if you're here, you maybe follow her, or you've seen some of the pictures she's been posting. The pictures alone, I love, I feel like a lot of us like pictures, but man, the pictures are so incredible. They look so delicious.
And they are, you got to eat them.
Yeah, and then of course, like when you get to actually taste them, because every single picture that is in that book, I got to eat every single one of those recipes. So,
and you enjoyed
some of them I was like, I don't know, she's back to the drawing board, and make that recipe even better.
And then he liked it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, look at this one. A little parsley, a little wasabi, a little ginger. There's the ginger recipes in there, how to make your own pickled ginger, or fermented ginger, I should say.
It's the best sushi ginger I've ever had. Is the recipe in the ebook. You gotta make that sushi ginger. It's so good.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my cracker ebook. Crack, spread, repeat. It's a fun book. It was a fun book to make. We still have like so many crackers, because I made all the crackers to take the pictures. We have so many crackers. We have crackers that'll last us probably all summer.
Right? Watermelon Lime says Alana's book has some great recipes.
Ooh, yes.
Elena Jordan, she's Naturo Minta here on Instagram, and she has great recipes as well. I know there's so many good recipes in here. Everything is brand new as well.
I haven't even gone through everything yet, but there's going to be, there's so many amazing recipes in there. I wanted to add up.
I love how you're eyeing my last two pieces.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to add up how many years worth of experience there is in the bundle. I kind of feel like that should be something that we do and include in the bundle website. Because I feel like, I was talking about this with Grant, I'm like, there has to be over a couple hundred years worth of wisdom put into these products, accumulated. And he's like, probably more closer to like 300 to 400 years. And I was like, wow, that's incredible to think. Because, if you picture Rick and Karen, the two of them both are close to 40 years each. So let's just say it's 70 years. Grant is about 20. There's 90 years just with 3 people. So I think Grant's probably on point with 300 to 400 years.
I'm 10, you're 9.
Right? Like, so.
That's almost 20.
And then Chris, 20. So.
Bella, I think Bella's been vegan for like over 30 years.
Yeah, and Kiko
too.
20 years.
20 years.
So there's a lot of years worth of wisdom that these creators have come forward and put into their books to put into this bundle. And so it's just a leg up for anybody who is even, like ourselves, like, we've been raw for quite some time, like a decade, almost a decade for me, over a decade for Lissa, which is a pretty good amount of time, but there's always something that we can learn. Oh, last one.
Last piece. Look at how beautiful that is.
So there's always stuff to learn from one another, and gosh, it's neat to see, this kind of a toolbox for people, because, if you're into healthy food, delicious food, there's stuff from the simplest of simple to the more elaborate, and yeah, it's a great tool. Great tool for everybody.
It really is.
So good.
Well, look at that.
So good.
We ate our lunch. And yeah, I don't feel stuffed. I could definitely eat another roll.
We'll use the sauce for the cucumber noodles.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be making some delicious stuff. Hopefully around 4 o'clock p.m. PST, we're going to have some other things that we're going to eat. We're going to show off some of other people's recipes today. So Watermelon Lime says, bundle time is always a wonderful time. We are so happy that you enjoy. And thank you for joining us for lunch while we enjoyed our sushi. And hope that the sauce talk was helpful for you. If it was, please go grab the bundle. Support yourself, support us by grabbing the bundle and enjoying all the new recipes. Momo says, does dehydration make it high in histamine? So I think it's based on the food itself. Yes. I don't think that the dehydration has anything to do with the histamine amount, but you can get over histamine issues. I would definitely look into Dr. Will Bolsowic's work. He is a gut microbiome doctor, a gut health doctor, and he has some amazing stuff on histamine and dealing with the histamine issues, because it's all about your gut. It's not necessarily the food. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking into his and building your microbiome, because that's what's going to be the most helpful.
And histamine, it's showing here. I just used a little chat. Asked it, like, will dehydrating food increase the histamines? So histamine isn't created by heat; it's produced by bacteria. And this is why Lissa's saying, get Dr. Will's book and start tapping into some of his content, because he's a gastroenterologist and he deals a lot with this. So dehydrating per se doesn't magically add histamines, but if, like Lissa was saying, if the food is already high in histamines, like fermented stuff or leftovers, or it sits out too long before dehydration and starts to spoil, or dehydration process is too slow and encourages bacterial activity. So yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but you can, again, overcome the histamine issues, and Dr. Will talks about this, and he's gotten so many people into eating more fermented foods and they don't have their histamine reactions like they used to, but it's a process and it's all about your microbiome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says here, protein-rich foods are more histamine prone.
Yeah, so like animal foods.
Right, so
yeah.
dehydrating animal products, soy, or even sprouted legumes, those are more likely to have histamine issues, especially if they're not ultra fresh or were soaked for too long. And then fruits and veggies, much lower risk. If you're dehydrating apples, bananas, kale, zucchini, etc., and you do it promptly and properly, histamine shouldn't be a concern. The risk increases if you soak your ingredients and don't dehydrate them right away. Your dehydrator runs at too low of a temp for too long, under 105 degrees. With the humidity, could slow things down too much. So the bottom line, if you're raw vegan and using fresh produce, you're probably golden. Just don't let things sit out, and ferment, or half dried. If you're working with anything protein rich or fermented, handle with care. So
and work on your microbiome.
Yeah.
You can do fermented foods, but in very
foods are great.
small amounts, while you build your microbiome so that you can enjoy more.
Yeah, fermented foods are great. Noe is asking here, off-topic question, what silicone straw do you use for your smoothie? Look like your Amazon. Oh, but you don't see them in the Amazon store.
Maybe they're not in the Amazon store.
I have them in my store.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you could just do a search.
Yeah, just search silicone straw.
Yeah, silicone
Nate will
straw.
show the ones that we use.
Yeah, these are really cool. And they do come with a brush, like a nice brush, so you can, I just like to kind of hold it flat when I do the swab, and I'll swab it a couple times with a little soap on the thing. But they're really great because they're nice and big, and then of course silicone, right? It's really nice.
Yeah, those are really nice to have. Because then you're not like hitting your tooth with a glass one. Like we used to have glass straws, but
we still have the glass ones, but we don't use those because you could chip your tooth, you could chip the glass, you can cut yourself. Bamboo, I feel like would be decent, but then again, bacteria starts to grow. It's hard to keep those really clean.
The silicone is just so awesome.
Nice.
And plus, when we are driving and we have smoothies in the car, it's so nice to have that because when it's bumpy, you got the silicone is, it's like a shock.
You're not gonna break your teeth.
Yeah, it's so nice to have that pliability in there.
Yeah,
but
I'm full. It's definitely, it takes a little bit for the stretch receptors to.
Of like, it's a satiating.
It's a satiating full.
Yeah. But
sorry. I was saying, like, sometimes we can eat so fast, we're just like eating. Because like right now I'm like, oh, the stretcher, because it has to like get down into the stomach and then, it's got to activate and do its thing. Because like right now I'm comfortable. Like I feel like I'm starting to get more full than I was on my last couple bites, because it takes a couple minutes. So, but each of us did, it was one head? Was it one head or two?
So we shared it was 720 something grams of cauliflower.
So it was like one really big head?
It was a really big
or
head
two
of cauliflower.
small heads of cauliflower. We each just ate a whole head. Here, grab that one.
So we split. It was one whole head that we split. Yeah, so we had each
It was bigger
half.
than that one,
It was
though.
much bigger than this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, grab that small one.
This one.
Yeah, that's probably like what we ate each.
Yeah, probably.
Plus, of course, we had a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of bell pepper, some avocado, some kimchi, and about a little over a tablespoon each of cheese. That's a lot of cheese. So that's where I'm like feeling like, I'm definitely feeling that. A tablespoon. That's not like crazy amount.
It's not crazy.
But,
it's good.
Yeah. Do you keep in mind some silicone has heavy metals? That is something to take into consideration, and of course it'd be really nice, if the companies, would disclose that sort of thing if there is heavy metals used in the process. But what's interesting
we don't really
is
worry too much about that.
No, because you think like we're not bringing it to high temperatures, right? And I mean, of course, like it's really crazy because if you're a kind of person that dives down different rabbit holes, what are they spraying in the air? We're breathing heavy metals. Like we're around, we're using.
It's everywhere regardless.
It's just regardless. So silicone, I personally am, because I've heard that too, but I'm not really concerned about that.
See, we're not baking with it at high temperatures, and that's where I feel most of the concern comes in with it. If you're just, using it as a straw or what have you, I don't think that there's as much of a leachage that happens.
And we eat a very
detox supportive.
A detox supporting, like a diet that is constantly helping us with detoxing. We eat a lot of herbs, a lot of cilantro, a lot of cruciferous, which helps support our body in this detoxification process more so than the average individual who's eating a lot of fried foods and fast foods and these sorts of things.
Or baking with silicone.
Or baking with old aluminum, these kinds of things. I mean, it's not
or wrapping their food in plastic. That's another one too.
Or aluminum foil. There's all kinds of. There's different studies and stuff that come out, and it's not to say that we need to just toss them all to the side. It's it is a raise for concern. But I haven't extensively done research in the silicone, but I have heard a few things on that, and I'm just I kind of brush it off because I'm like,
we're not heating it. The things we just said.
But we are touching it to our mouth. But
your page is amazing. Thank you so much. Most importantly for those who bake with it or use high temperatures.
400
right,
degrees.
400 degrees. But I would be more worried about the chemicals that are formed in the food at those temperatures than the silicone itself, right? All the acrylamide that is formed when you're baking or roasting, most,
the
potatoes
AGEs,
and stuff, the AGEs.
The advanced glycation end products.
I'd be more worried about those than the
nitrosamines.
silicone. But high heats change
high
things.
heats, and it's tricky though too because we're in a world where we're breathing a lot of stuff. We're breathing exhaust when we're out in the outside. It's unless you have shower filters on our water. We have there's different things in the water that we're getting. It's interesting, and I mean, I don't know. We're all living a lot longer than we used to. Back in the day, it was I would be a very, very old man at 48 years old.
Right.
But it's 48. I'm like, oh man, my life just started. I still have at least another, hopefully 40 years. Yeah. So it's just interesting, and I feel fear too, being too scared and fearful of certain things can sometimes be almost worse than the actual thing itself. If I'm constantly, because I wear earbuds, wireless Bluetooth earbuds, and I've gone down all the rabbit holes. There's no rabbit hole that I won't go down. I love it. I love it. But it's an interesting topic, that one there, because they talk about the frequency and it's so close to your brain, but it's a different kind of frequency. I kind of fall in that camp where I'm like, okay, it's not the same kind of frequency as the actual cell phone next to my ear.
Right.
And I wear them rarely. And I so enjoy wireless earbuds. And so I'm not going to be someone who is oh my gosh, I have to get rid of them, or scared. I've got friends who are scared of everything. And it's just a perpetual state that they keep themselves in. Constant
low-grade anxiety.
Right.
So, you got to choose what works and what resonates most with you, and do the best you can, obviously. Right. As Jewel says, raw food, whole food is definitely the best thing to do for detoxing. We want to support our detox organs so they can do their job. We have another question here. Did you guys ever battle with candida, fungal overgrowth in the gut? Has your diet improved or worsened? Okay.
I had a candida overgrowth too, because I had dandruff, and I did, I had allergies, I had asthma. That's not necessarily super candida overgrowth related, but I feel dandruff, athlete's foot, these sorts of things.
Athlete's foot for sure is a candida issue. So I dealt with candida for 15 years. I was diagnosed when I was 19, and from 19 years old, that's when I started my health journey. I started educating myself. I went to school to do nutritional consulting, and I started working in the natural health industry when I was about 21. But when I was 19, I was diagnosed with candida, and I was put on the classic anti-candida diet. I did the bentonite clay, the psyllium husk, and the caprylic acid concoction. I did that for 9 months. I did all kinds of herbs. No, I did that. It was one of the diet things that I tried. But I used to work at the health food store and I had access to anything I wanted. If I wanted, I had free like fish oils, I had free probiotics, I had free all kinds of different things to help me. And I did so many cleanse kits. I did juice fasts, I did water fasts. I even had a zapper that you would hold and it would zap, it's supposed to zap the parasites out of you. None of it actually got rid of my candida. It would lessen the symptoms, but because I wasn't changing the foundation of what I was eating every single day, I wasn't growing my own army. So our microbiome is our military, basically, think of it that way. It is in charge of keeping yeast and parasites in check. So you can never fully get rid of candida. We all have like a small amount in there, but our good bacteria keep it in check.
And we want to, like there's...
Yeah, we want to have that variety.
Yeah, and, and it's you know, there's benefits to having that. It's interesting because it's like with the alkaline water, people are like, oh, you gotta drink the alkaline water. But it's interesting because our body is struggling so much, not maybe struggling, but like working so hard to keep it at like a nice balance, the pH at a certain balance. So if we're drinking alkaline water, it's making our hydrochloric acid.
It's like imbalancing other things in our bodies.
So then your body's producing more acid to try to like counteract the alkalinity. It's just incredible.
It's very, very interesting. So yeah, so I did from the age of 19 all the way up to 34, so about 15 years, I dealt with candida. I had bladder infections like every 2 months. I had some that I had to go to the hospital to get antibiotics for because it was getting into my kidneys. So there was that. I had a cold or a flu every 2 months. I had serious cravings, lots of brain fog. I had serious acne, cystic acne, which was linked to that as well, and crazy digestive issues. Like sometimes I would have gas and bloating so bad that I couldn't even lay down. I couldn't sit. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. It hurt so bad. It was so painful. And it wasn't until I went raw and I gave up on all of that. Because, you know, most candida protocols are like no fruit, no mushrooms, no nutritional yeast, none of that. Eat lots of animal products and protein and healthy fats. Eat very little fruits and very little vegetables. So I used to always follow those diets because I thought that's what you had to do. And then it just wasn't going away. But when I went raw, I was like, I don't care. You know, I'm just going to focus on whole food and I'm going to eat enough and I'm just going to do that. I didn't do it to cure my candida because I already lived with it for 15 years. I was like, whatever, you know, if this works, it works. I didn't think about it. But after about 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months, I noticed like slowly, it's, you know, it's a process. Like after the first week, I had lots of energy and, you know, I felt good. I kept going. Eventually, I stopped having bladder infections. I stopped getting sick. My hormones balanced out and, you know, to the best of their ability. But it was like, I felt so good and I didn't have any more candida issues. My acne went away, my brain fog went away, my joint pain went away, my digestion improved dramatically. Like I was always worried about colon cancer and Crohn's because those run in my family on my mom's side. My mom had colon cancer and my uncle died with Crohn's disease. So, you know, I have that worry in my, you know, in my genetics. So working on my microbiome was my top priority and I haven't had any candida symptoms. I haven't had a yeast infection in over a decade. So I'm totally done with the candida and I eat high fruit and that's how I did it. I ate high fruit, low fat, but lots of greens. So lots and lots and lots and lots of greens and vegetables. I use the fruit for calories and the vegetables for fiber and minerals and stuff like that. So I value vegetables and sprouts and herbs and stuff like that, greens, as much as fruit. So as awesome as fruit is, vegetables and greens are equally amazing. So I had lots of those in my diet. I didn't do any like, I may have in the first month, like I can't even remember if I used up maybe some oregano oil that I had or some probiotics, but I didn't do anything. I just changed my diet. I grew my microbiome and my microbiome fought off the yeast for me. I didn't have to do anything. It just did it all for me. So it really was about variety and focusing every single day on feeding your microbiome with that variety, whole food, you know, no cheats or things in moderation.
It's so incredible how the body responds when you start to just eat more natural, living, raw, fresh foods.
Yeah, exactly. And they mentioned here, thank you so much for the insight. I noticed that too, whenever I would follow any kind of Candida protocol, I actually got worse in the long run. And
Right.
I think the reason for that is when we are eating high fat diets, which most Candida protocols are higher fat because you're basically limiting your fruit. You're not getting any fruit. It's super low carb. But what's happening is that high fat is preventing your insulin from getting sugar from your bloodstream into your cells. It's the high fat. It's not the sugar that's the problem, it's the high fat. So when you stop the Candida protocol and you start eating other things, you've got all that extra fat floating around in your system, and your insulin's not going to work so well. So what happens when the sugar stays in the bloodstream? Guess who eats it? The yeast, right? So we want to make sure that we have a low fat diet. Eat plenty of different varieties of fruits and vegetables, and that's what worked for me. And I've noticed like so many people who follow that kind of a protocol help. You can take like the classic herbs like oregano oil or grapefruit seed extract, or like bentonite clay, psyllium husk, and stuff like that to help. But it's really all about building your microbiome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That microbiome.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Feed those little
welcome.
dudes.
Thank you, Noi. You are awesome. But yeah.
I was going to go
That's a good
hop
one.
on with these kids here.
Okay.
Love you guys. It was
Yes,
good to see
Nate's
you.
going live.
Thank you for the sushi. Mwah.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys.
And thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks for the questions. That was really awesome to chat about that. And we are going to be back in about 3 hours from now at 4 p.m. PST. We're going to be trying out some recipes from Raw Chef Yin. We're going to make those and enjoy that later today. So if you haven't yet purchased the bundle, please go grab it. Check out the link in my bio or in the description box below to head over to the website and see everything you get for just $50. Every single piece of content in the bundle is absolutely brand new, never before released. So even if you've purchased bundles in the past, nothing in this bundle is something that you would have because everything is brand new. We've got Wendy in here. Wendy, thank you. Wendy is part of the bundle as well. She has her Feminine Harmony ebook in there. So yeah, when you buy the bundle, you get 32 downloads valued at nearly $1,400, all brand new content, all raw, and it's all yours for $50, and you have to download everything before June 30th. So once you buy the bundle, take 5 minutes, download everything, then you don't have to worry about the deadline. We only give the deadline this year until June 30th because they have increased the prices astronomically to host, so we can no longer do a year. But like I said, it only takes 5 minutes. So take 5 minutes, download the files, and you're good to go. Once they're downloaded on your device, they're yours forever. Put them in a safe backup, just in case something happens to your main device. You have them in backup like Google Drive or Dropbox, but yes, go grab the bundle, get my brand new sushi ebook, enjoy some delicious new recipes from other people who are in the bundle, and it's a great way to support us and more importantly to support yourself, adding more raw food to your diet. So thank you for joining me for this live. We'll be back again at 4 p.m. PST to try out something from Raw Chef Yin. Mwah. Yes, meow. Dove says hi to all of you. She is so cute. So thank you for all your love and all your kindness. You are appreciated. Until the next one, fruit on.